Peppa Pig, her brother George and their friends were playing in the park. I love playing in the park, but what I'd like most of all is to be a princess, said Peppa. Not me, said George. No, you can't be a princess, said Zoe. You're a boy, so you would be a prince. If I was a princess, I could go to the palace ball tonight, said Peppa to her friends. It was time for Peppa and George to go home. Thomas arrived. They hopped on and went home. Peppa was still thinking about being a princess. Mummy Pig met them at the door. Look, I've started on the Halloween decorations, said Mummy, pointing at the pumpkins. I'll do some more tomorrow. She then went inside, followed by George. Peppa stayed outside. Oh, how can I be a princess? She said to the pumpkin, who couldn't hear her because it was a pumpkin. So, you want to be a princess? Said a voice behind Peppa. Peppa turned around. Yes, I really do, said Peppa to the fairy Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell got out her wand, pointed it at Peppa and said, Peppa's here with a dress so bright, turn her into a princess for the night. Wow, I'm a beautiful princess, she said. I could go to the palace ball now, if I could get there. Stand back, said Tinkerbell, and she got her wand out and said, Old pumpkin sitting there on the ground, turn into a carriage going round and round. One of the pumpkins turned into a carriage. Wow, said Peppa. Go on then, said Tinkerbell, climb in. And Peppa climbed in. You'll need a footman, said Tinkerbell, and once again she got out her wand and said, The pumpkin carriage looks the part. Now find a footman looking smart. Suddenly, a familiar-looking, smartly dressed footman appeared. George, said Peppa. George said nothing. Now off you go, said Tinkerbell. The pumpkin carriage moved away and Princess Peppa started turning round and round. Soon they arrived at the palace. Some of the princesses had already arrived. Peppa climbed out of the pumpkin. Princess Peppa, so lovely to see you, said Princess Ariel. They talked a little and invited Peppa into the palace. But just before Peppa went through the door, oh dear, she fell over and hit her head. Peppa woke up in her bed. Oh, she said. She looked out of the window. Was that just a dream? We'll never know. Thanks for watching our story. Here's another one you may have missed. It was nearly Halloween and Peppa Pig was very excited. She had already helped to decorate her house and today she'd been invited to a Halloween party. She had her costume all ready upstairs to change into and she was just about to get ready when the doorbell rang. Oh, I wonder who that could be, she said to herself and went to answer the door.
Trick or treat,
came a voice as she opened the door, and before her stood a blue witch looking very like someone we know well. Oh, "Okay," said Peppa. "Great costume, very scary," she smiled and went inside to find a treat for the visitor. "Well," said Peppa, "now, what's a really nice treat? I don't want to be tricked instead." She looked on the table and saw a lovely bowl of green juicy apples. "Of course," she smiled, "these apples are a wonderful treat, very delicious," and she selected one and carried it to the door. "Here you are," she said to the witch, but the witch was not amused.
Apple?
He grunted.
Me don't want apple. Me want cookie.
"Oh," said Peppa, looking a little surprised. "We do have some cookies. I'll just go and get one." And she returned the apple to the bowl and picked up a cookie instead. "Here you are," she said to the witch, and gave him the cookie.
Cookie!
Said the witch, and promptly disappeared. "Well, that was interesting," Peppa thought as she closed the door. "I suppose I should start to get ready for the party." She was just about to go upstairs when the doorbell rang for a second time. "Oh dear, not again," she sighed. "I really do need to get ready for the party." "Oh well, I'd better answer it," and she went over to the door and opened it.
Trick or treat!
Said a voice from the other side of the door. "You look a little familiar," she said to the mummy who was standing there, but nevertheless she told him that she would find him a very nice treat. Back inside again, Peppa looked at the table. "Well, I don't think the apples were very popular last time," she thought. "I'll have to think of something else this time." And her eyes drifted over to the side table where there stood a lovely bowl of fresh carrots. "Oh yes, a nice juicy carrot," said Peppa. Surely that would be an excellent choice. And she picked one out of the bowl and proceeded to the door. "Here you are, a nice delicious carrot," she smiled and offered the carrot to the mummy.
What?
Exclaimed the mummy.
Carrot? No, me want cookie.
"Oh," repeated Peppa for a second time that day. "I'll just go and fetch one for you." And with that she disappeared into the house and returned again with a cookie in her hand.
Thank you,
said the mummy.
Me like this game.
And with that he disappeared. "Now I really must get ready or I will be late for the party," she said, and hurried upstairs to put on her outfit. She was just coming downstairs when the doorbell rang for a third time. "I don't believe it," she exclaimed. "It's him again. But this time I know what to do. I'll give him a cookie straight away." And she selected a cookie and walked towards the door. This time there was a giant pumpkin standing at the door.
This is so much fun.
He chuckled.
Me get cookies for free.
Peppa took a little longer to open the door this time because her Halloween costume was quite heavy. This made the giant pumpkin outside begin to get a little impatient while he was waiting. Unfortunately for him, he wasn't looking at the door as Peppa opened it. When he eventually turned around to say his familiar words, he got the shock of his life.
Ah! Me being tricked.
He screamed when he saw Peppa.
Horrible, scary, ugly monster that's going to eat me. Sorry, me ate all your cookies. Me never come back.
And with that, he disappeared, and that was the last Peppa saw of him for a very long time. "Well, that was a little strange," she exclaimed. "I wonder what got into him," she chuckled. Thank you for watching our video. To see more, please click on any of these clips. And if you haven't already subscribed, go on, do so now. See you soon!